Everyone, we're starting with the caucus this evening. We have a closed caucus scheduled for this evening, but we're going to start the caucus, which is scheduled for 5:30 p.m. It is 5:35. Today is Monday, the 21st day of March, and this is a caucus of the Municipal Council. We have all members in attendance, excepting Councilperson Osborne. Council President, do you want to see if we can...
And just for everybody here, so we had a closed caucus scheduled as well. Once Councilperson Osborne arrives, she was the main person requesting that. When she arrives, we'll have a closed caucus, which will ask everybody to leave the room while we gather for that particular caucus. Let's start with, who has one item? Anyone? Okay. So, start with Ben, and then we'll go down to...
Okay, council members, I'm just handing out to you the... Here, this is the item that Ben is here for, 10-0.
Okay, this is 10-0. Ben?
He's tweaked the title. It's a resolution authorizing the application and acceptance of a Hudson County Open Space Trust Fund grant for the Berry Lane Park Improvement Project.
Okay, take it away.
All right, thank you. Again, Ben Delau from the Jersey City Redevelopment Agency. This resolution is authorizing for the application and, if awarded, the acceptance of a grant from the Hudson County Open Space Trust Fund in the amount of $225,000. We already have sufficient matching funds secured through a state Green Acres grant and from city capital dollars already committed to the project a year or two ago. And this will be used to construct the skate park and the pavilion building within the park. So features that have already been kind of planned just haven't been funded, and this will be our next phase, phase 5 of construction.
Okay, any questions for Ben?
I'd like to know how many millions spent on this park?
23, we told you.
23. No, I heard it was 30 million. Is it up to 30 million?
Give me 1 second, I pulled it out. The current phase of construction that we're in right now is about $9 million between the $7 million base contract and then the park amenities and soft costs that we've had. To date, from all of the acquisition, environmental remediation, relocation, construction, we're at $38.6 million since 2007.
They're all falling apart, but there's $30 million there. It's a shame. I mean, and was it going to go to 40 million by the time they're finished?
With these
I mean, you got Liberty State Park half a mile away, a quarter mile away, which is 1,200 acres of land. It's, never mind.
Let's just get it done.
$30 million.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you, Ben. Yes. So we're joined by Councilperson Osborne.
Let's just do steam ahead for a little while, get some people out of here.
Yeah.
So they don't have to...
Who else is the one item? Carmen? We have Carmen Gandula, Director of Community Development with us, and she has a late item.
Yeah, I do have a pass out. Nope, I'm passing it out now. I'm sure everyone has a copy. Yeah, I do. Now I have to do.
Okay, Carmen, the floor is yours.
So, two more? pass this one? Okay. So what you have before you is a contract for a program agreement between the state and the city, and particularly my office, in regards to being able to do environmental reviews. And the reason why it is a late item is that initially, when the city did this before, we thought we were covered under a previous act, which is listed up there under Historic Preservation Act. And so what I said previously, when the city did this contract before, we never had to come to council. So today I'm here as a late item after I discussed with legal and confirmed with other partners. They wanted this contract, especially for the sensitivity of environmental reviews, to be presented in front of council members. So what you have in front of you is a programmatic agreement between the city, my office particularly, with the state in order for us to do environmental reviews and to do any of our work. So ideally, in short terms, we can't do any contracting work, any kind of work without this process, the environmental piece being there in place. And so after this, what happens is the state will take 30 days to do so. So the reason why they asked for the late item is to move this a little bit forward. I would have had this prepared had we, after confirmed with legal, had we known that we had to present it to council. So the last time we did this, 5-6 years ago, it wasn't presented to council. So we are presenting it to you so that you have and understand what the environmental review process is between the city and the state and how we can conduct and make our awards. Sure.
I've been here, I just had a meeting today with somebody on an historic piece of property here.
Go ahead, Richard.
A historic piece of property here in Jersey City where George Washington met Lafayette, and the American troops camped for a year. I met with the historic people about a month and a half ago. They said, well, at one time there was a building there, it was torn down. It's the lot at Waldo and Magnolia, and I see in here you have archaeological stuff. I think before any building's put up there, they want to put up an 5-story building with 3 stories of parking underneath. Okay. And the people around the neighborhood are upset about this. And I think before that's done, this should be looked into now that you have it here. Now, as I said, I was with the historic people, and their attitude was there was a building here years ago. There was something built in the 1800s. Okay. So, can you get a hold of me during the week and let's...
Absolutely, send me the information. I know Dan has a meeting tonight, because I did speak to Dan today, and I think they're in a meeting tonight with the Historic Preservation. So if there's something that you want me to look into, regards to and granting out dollars, and we'll keep award.
This should be a small park. And the dedication of George Washington and Lafayette.
Okay.
And to the American troops that fought there, because a lot of them are buried in the cemetery right next door.
I have the same thing downtown. I'm getting ready to go before the
Yeah,
council.
and see,
So,
we're not preserving our history here.
So the use of CDBG dollars for historic is an eligible cost. So if that's something you want to explore, I'd be more than happy to sit down with everyone and just discuss it as an aside during our RFP or application period.
Council President Coleman.
I just want to ask you because, I'm trying to keep up. I'm a little tired, so forgive me. In other words, this is to allow CDBG dollars to be spent to make renovations on historical properties?
No, so this
No?
is this is a contract for the environmental review piece that covers eligible activities under CDBG. That makes.
Yes.
Good.
And we always did this?
Yeah, the city always did this, but it was just never presented to council. So under the act where it says the National Historic Preservation Act, that piece was presented to council, but this particular contract, this programmatic agreement contract that you have, ideally what this is an MOU for the city in order to do this piece. So this was covered, this is just taken aside. The environmental reviews, yep.
Any other questions?
It's, there's no cost to it. Yeah, it's as needed, yep, as needed, yep.
Okay. Moving on, we are now going to go into, we have to go into closed session. I've been advised by legal that we need to go. Yes. Do we need a motion, or how's that work? No? Okay.
Stop this.
What's up? What's wrong, Stacy?
I just, because I have to get back to the park, can I just, mind it
Okay,
very
Stacy's the only one, come on.
So the only thing you have is Z7 and Z8, and they're just.
Okay. Z7 Z8. Knocking out Z7 and Z8, so Stacy can get back to the park.
What's going on in the park?
I don't know. Let's just do it and move on. Z7 is open-end contract to New Way concessionaries for senior congregate site nutrition program for HHS. Anything to say about that?
So this is the updated contract with New Way to continue serving meals to seniors at the 9 locations that we have across the city. Our goal is to open our 10th site this year. We've been in conversation with the Bethune Center and with United Way for an additional site in those areas. So
Any questions on that?
this was an open bid, yeah. Yep.
And the other resolution is for,
Hold on. Councilor Ramshaw?
sorry,
I'm looking for is the location
What's
in
the
it?
location he's
The
asking?
locations, Olga Rodriguez, which is on Montgomery, Collier, Connors, Grace Van Vorst, Lafayette Gardens, Curry Woods. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
How come Marion Gardens is not in it?
Because Marion Gardens was not part of the original. If they would like a site, then we can communicate with them to expand the program. We don't get any new money from the county, and what we do is we leverage the money that we have, but since Boyd McGinnis is not really as active as we hope it is, we can move that money and shift it to Marion Gardens. So if there is someone that works with seniors there, we happily communicate with them. They'd have to go through the formal health process, and we'll get it approved by the county. It probably takes about 90 days.
You have an active senior community.
Who do I contact? You, right? Cool. That's all.
Resolution to move my money, is that you do that or I do that? Okay.
It's a resolution authorizing the award of an open-end contract to Whitson Culinary Groups for senior home delivered meals, Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, so Winston won the bid. We walked through a bid with the purchasing, and they have been a contractor for quite a long time. It's a very large program. It's like 140,000 meals that we do. Comes frozen, available for seniors. Weekend program is funded by CDBG. The Monday through Friday is funded by the county, 75%. We match 25% with funding that's in the budget.
Any questions? Hearing none?
Okay.
Thank you, Director Flanagan. Okay, now we're going to go into closed session, correct? Now, we're going to move it in.
No.
Closed session. Yeah, then everybody gonna wanna go.
Okay, do we have to do anything? What do we do?
no, I'm just gonna pause this,
We'll ask the room to clear, please.
ask the room to clear.
Can we get Joe out there? I'm not sure why, yeah. We're just different.
Okay, Joe, how are you?
Good evening, everyone. Sorry. Okay, 10T. Let's see, 10T. And also, what's the other one?
10Z14?
Yes. That's correct.
10T is the Second Amendment to the License and Access Agreement. with CCC Civil to permit continued use of the PJP landfill site for work on the Pulaski Skyway project.
Yes, correct. So this evening, we are seeking the second amendment to the contract, which allows CC Civil to use a portion of the PJP landfill slash future Skyway Park area for the purposes of constructing certain portions of the Pulaski Skyway. More specifically, contracts 3 and 4 of 10. We've tried to pry from them schedules for when they think they'll be done, and we are being told that by the end of 2018, they should be done with contracts 3 and 4. So we are seeking the approval of the second amendment of the contract.
It's just an access agreement.
Exactly.
Just kind of given what's happening with the turnpike work, is there any concerns for community impact of, or I should say land impact of allowing this to happen? And do we have any protection?
We do have protection. If it's part of the agreement, there is a certain amount of oversight that needs to be done by an LSRP. We required that from day one, from the original contract. We're carrying that forward, and all costs are borne by CCA Civil to make sure nothing is done, nothing's punctured on the cap, everything stays exactly the way it should be.
Any other questions related to 10T? Hearing none. Next item.
Okay, the next item is a renewal of a contract or extension of a contract with Caucus. What is it, 10Z14?
Perform remedial investigation for the PJP check cashing site.
Okay, I'm going to be as brief as possible, but not knowing where everyone's background is on this project, I'm just going to go briefly through a few points to bring everyone up to speed on this. The purpose of this item tonight, basically, we have a landfill that we purchased years ago, PJP landfill site, right off of 1 and 9 slash 440. I'm not sure exactly where the dividing line is there. 1 and 9, okay, good. Okay, so we purchased this site years ago. It is a Superfund site. The Superfund, for those who don't know, is a national priorities list. The EPA publishes this list. It's quote-unquote the naughty list. It's the list of the most contaminated sites in the country. I would like to stress that it is the only one in Jersey City, despite the density of these listings throughout the state of New Jersey. So that in and of itself is one reason why we would like to get off of this list, specifically referencing this site. It was a commercial landfill, accepted chemical industrial waste, and it had alleged illegal dumping. If you recall, many of you or some of you, in the 70s and 80s, we had a lot of spontaneous combustion events. Exactly. We had
Jimmy Hoffa's gone.
It was a continuous ball of fire, if you will. In 1983, it was placed on the Superfund list, and various remedial measures have been taken ever since, including an interim remedial measure, an IRM in environmental terms, to extinguish fires and partially cap the site. In 2006, Hackensack River Edge redevelopment plan rezoned it for permitted uses for the site. 2010, we purchased it with bonds and grants. It was a combination of Green Acres, Hudson County Open Space, and a $4 million grant from Port Authority. The number that I have for city funds is $8.7 million that was put into the park purchase at that time. In 2012, the cap was completed on the landfill portion, which is by and large the largest part of the site. I will say that the DEP, against our attempts to try to move forward with the redevelopment of that portion of the site that was capped and accepted as quote-unquote clean, I shouldn't say clean. It was accepted as capped and usable. The DEP and the EPA decided to make the check cashing portion site. When I say check cashing portion, it's a strip that includes a gas station, a tire center, and used to have a check cashing store in the front. We also own that. That fronts the roadway. They decided that they wanted us to proceed as one site. And only would we be delisted once the check cashing portion was also addressed and remediated. As of right now, we have O&M activities on the capped portion. Boswell Engineering's providing that. That is to continue indefinitely. That's part of the deal, so to speak, as far as the capped portion. It's awaiting deletion, but the results of the check cashing site remedial investigation, which is why I'm here tonight, we are pending the results of that remedial investigation. A site investigation phase was completed by Caucus in 2015. We're currently in the remedial investigation phase. Again, Caucus resolution is pending your approval at Wednesday's meeting. As far as the future of the site, if the remedial investigation determines that the check cashing site is not impacted by the landfill, and this is very important to note, this entire thing is hinging on that. We need to, through the use or through the implementation of this and performing this remedial investigation, determine that the landfill itself is not contaminating the check cashing portion. We've had some small areas that we've known to contain some contamination in the check cashing site, but we have reason to believe that it is contained contamination from activities that occurred within that site and that site alone. So, but again, we won't know for sure unless we can conduct this remedial investigation. It is hopefully the final step in getting us delisted. We anticipate, if all goes according to plan, and it is determined that the contamination is contained within that site, we put together a plan for remediating that site and that site alone, and we should be off the list by the end of next year. That is a very, very good thing to achieve. It is the crux of the entire project. Actually, I should say the crux of the entire project is to build a park on the site. So, that being said, this would become a park. All part of a park, yes. The check action site would be part of it, but the landfill itself would be the park.
So this action would be ordered by DEP, first of all. Sorry, so that's why we're taking it. And the end results that we expect, as Joe mentioned, will result in this coming off the Superfund list, which is a great thing. What has to happen, those council should know, is that those businesses, once this action is taken, will have to be, evicted from their space.
So, can I go?
Go.
All right. So, this is the tire we have? Pavilion? Oh. So, this been going back and forth for a very, very long time, right? Since when you were deputy mayor, prior administration, long before that. I know that. It's good that that we're moving forward with this. Those people in Marion section being promised a park there, like I said, for decades, and nothing is happening. Finally, we're moving forward. But my thing is there's businesses there. We got to make sure that the check cashing place, you know what's going to happen. If they have employee, city resident that work in there, we need to sit with them.
We're on CRA and relocation.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we just can't kick them out of there, and they have nowhere to go.
How many businesses?
So you have the check cashing, and you have, is Wilson Park a part of that?
I don't know. There's only two.
Who's the other one?
It's just two, right, the gas station and
The gas station.
and the check cash. Right,
And the check cashing.
because the gas station, you can't do anything.
It's a
I
tire
think there
place.
is a tire place, you're right.
It's a tire place in the gas station.
Tire places on, yeah, you're right, the tire place,
the
the
north
gas
end of the
station.
property.
And then there's a mechanic shop, and that's
He's
That's
still
what you're
there.
talking about?
Yeah, there's two tenants that we collect rent from that would have to be relocated.
All
Right.
right, we gotta make sure, like I said, for the record, we gotta make sure we sit with these people and figure out how we're gonna have them relocated. Because you just can't kick people out of jobs and they have nowhere to go. This been going way back, and we gotta make sure we do it the right way.
So how soon will you be evicting these folks?
We would like to by June 30th, on or about June 30th. It shouldn't go past June 30th because of the deadlines, the timelines that we've been given by the DEP. So we should start talks with them soon.
So somebody needs to start those relocation talks quickly, right?
Well, I spoke to Mr. today, and he says that the check cashing is about to move, right? June 30th.
We are looking at from well, first let me say this. I want the city council to know that one of our colleagues has primarily Justina Ching, and she's here tonight, been responsible for all this research that you have in front of you. So in regards to the check cashing and other businesses, in a meeting that we had, and we've been, Brian Weller, Joe Kuna, Justina Ching, and Jerry Spiesback from Caucus. We looked at a June 30th deadline, and the business administrator said that what properly needs to be done in regards to relocation, real estate, as well as we spoke to the law department last week, and Ms. Ilsa Wilson, who is the point person for the law department on this, is going to be working to make sure that they are correctly, underlined, correctly moved by June 30th. They have to be moved by June 30th because for them to be there, or any business to be there, Caucus cannot honestly tell whether or not, where the contaminated soil may be coming from as far as the owners are concerned. So they need to be moved.
And he says, 2017? This is,
We're targeting the end. There was a timeline in the package that shows all the progress that was made to date. There's a tremendous amount, and the small amount that you see from today going forward is what's left to be done, which is why we're here tonight for the resolution awarding Caucus. And, I apologize. This timeline here, it should be part of your package. So we're here today.
Can you send that to the?
We can, yes, we can. So if anyone can see this. This goes back to 2008. We're down here today. This is the small portion we're talking about right now. That brings us to the end of 2017, and then we can get off of this list.
I'm just gonna say that I do hope when Green Acre fund money for this park again, I'm not gonna hear that the money is gonna be reappropriated again to a different park, because that's gonna start steam over here. I wanna see this park go up, because Marion section, we have some good project, the Puccini's project is going up there. We have people moving in there, and hopefully that we can get this ball rolling and get this park going up there. Thank you, that's all.
I just wanted to add one part. We will be back in July. The O&M portion, operations and maintenance that I mentioned, has to go on indefinitely on the landfill portion. That contract is going to have to be renewed as well, but that's not until July.
So, see that the police headquarters, Rich Quiet, see that the police headquarters is moving there as well, be it? Is there gonna be parking there so that they could use as well? I mean,
Some of the preliminary discussions
I know-
is this area could be used as a parking lot. And I would also, I'd like to get a pedestrian bridge over 1 and 9 to make it easier access for the people to access the site. So,
So it's not gonna be a park?
Right?
it'll be the parking lot,
Pedestrian bridge.
mutual for the park, for the park and also for the employees.
I think we need that anyway. Because that's very dangerous, trying to get back and forth across that.
We've been going back and forth with this, and Kabili said that they're gonna build a bridge there
Very nice.
for the pedestrian to walk over the bridge and go to the park.
That would be very nice.
So,
Shared with you that
Yeah,
that
my
was
full
the VA's
support.
idea.
yeah, he said that. Bobby, and I know you're working very hard on getting the headquarters finished, so let's get a spark finished as well. All right, thank you.
One last thing, is this the site where the Wawa was envisioned,
Yes, yes.
or yes?
That's correct,
Is that correct?
from what I understand.
Did your folks know over there? They seem very interested in the Wawa, just letting you know.
So, the Wawa is the one by the car, where the used car lot is now, so let's don't start a dialogue right now.
Yeah, that's a different time.
Yeah, good.
Different meeting.
Until they said it's going here, maybe they say here and they wind up in Frank's ward, so
Right.
for all I know.
Right.
There's a ShopRite was going in the water as well, right?
ShopRite coming over there to your right, right?
We need
With the
Next victim?
Thank you.
We have 10U, U as in uncle. Like I give up. 10U.
Agreement with Message One.
It's just renewing the city's contract with the company that archives our email and provides us with a disaster recovery capability in case our email goes down.
Any questions for Bob? Next item, 10Z9.
Just a renewal of our contract with Broadview Networks for POTS lines.
Which one is it?
Z9. Renewal of our contract with Broadview encumbering money for POTS lines, PRIs, and internet access for the JCRA.
Any questions? Hearing none. 10Z10.
Renewing our contract with Verizon Wireless for cell phones, tablets, hotspots, etc.
Thank you, Bob Madro.
Thank you.
Sounds like we should have done you before the closed caucus.
Yeah, he won it.
Everybody's,
I'm teasing him.
Next.
I'm teasing
No, don't go away. I have a question.
question.
On this agenda?
Yes. Let's just start it. I don't know if everyone's so rushed, so, but, you know.
You say you're not feeling good today.
ask a question.
Yeah, the 10Z10.
10
Yes, what's different between 10Z10 and 10X and 10Z3?
Because it's for the police department.
One is public safety, one is non-uniform.
They are separate,
Yeah, they're separate contracts.
separate contracts.
Police, public safety has their own contracts. They manage their own equipment.
I see.
Okay.
Great, that's it.
Thank you, Bob.
Next.
Brooke, you're up.
Bro.
Let's welcome Brooke Hanson.
Welcome, bro.
Thank you. All right, 10Z4.
Z4. Always bright, clean, spotless pool service, ABCS.
Ready
For pool inspections and maintenance.
Oh.
Yeah, Brooke?
Just an annual contract.
Right, for pool.
3 quotes.
Livonia, Lafayette, and Pershing.
This is all indoor swimming pool, right?
Yeah. Rich, Pavonia.
Livonia, Lafayette, Pershing.
I'm sorry?
Livonia, Lafayette, and Pershing.
Okay.
Ward B and C.
No questions? 10Z5.
Air brake and equipment for heavy-duty vehicle,
That's the
Z5.
repair of heavy-duty vehicles. Z6, Northeast Auto and Truck Parts.
Any questions? It's like
That's
Brooke should
it?
have gone before the,
Brooke should have went before the closed caucus.
All right, we're good? That's it.
yeah, that's it.
My pedestrian things to go back up on Ocean Avenue at the new senior building.
We're working to bring them all out now that we know that the snow is clear. We were still waiting because we had a little snow this weekend, but we'll be putting out fresh, undented pedestrian crossing signs.
You fill out a form, you gotta fill out a form, Marianne. Then Jeff.
Which one are you here for?
And a very easy one, 3E. Oh, 3E. And
That's a deed of easement with 110 First Street. Urban Renewal Associates and the A Condominium Association affecting the First Street Park.
yes.
Okay, do you wanna explain this?
Okay. This is the agreement necessary to allow for 110 First Street developer to rebuild the park that they deconstructed. It requires them to post the bonds before they start. It gives dates when they have to start, and it also outlines the required maintenance that they would do after they build it. Essentially, right now, it's owned by the A Condo Minium Association, and there's a deed of easement to the city as a public park. And the A Condo is responsible for the maintenance. 110 First Street, interested in rebuilding the park, went in and took it down prematurely without council's approval, and now is saying, we're very sorry, we'll come in, we'll do whatever we need to, whatever agreements we need to make, and we will take on the responsibility of maintenance from A Condo. And so that's why it's a three-way arrangement, and it spent a lot of time in the hands of the attorneys of the city, going back and forth with the attorneys of A Condo and 110 First Street. Right now, there's a approved site plan that went through a charrette and a planning board meeting and several community meetings, and it was reviewed by engineering and planning. So the plans are all ready to go, and what needs to happen is the permission to do the construction. Then after that, there needs to be permission for Honeywell to do a cleanup, and then they can start construction.
Did I miss that?
This is the Honeywell piece. I think right now Ray Reddington is working with Honeywell on an agreement that'll come before you to allow Honeywell to clean that up.
So it'll come quickly?
Yes. Essentially, once this goes forward, if the agreement is in place, then Honeywell can proceed with this agreement, then the next agreement. Honeywell can proceed with their application for DEP approval.
Okay,
Yes.
Any other questions for Marianne? Thank you, Marianne. Jeff Wanger, you're up. And then Jerry, you're last. He's got like 8 items.
This is resolution, this is 10. R and S. KRE resolutions authorizing the developer agreement with KRE. This is for the construction of their building on the Unico Tower site. The redevelopment plan required KRE to create a new public park on land owned by Unico Tower and make that available to the public. So this is the kind of a standard developer agreement, and it's a template language that we used for Grove Point Plaza and other public areas that developers are required to build and maintain. The developer agreement, yes, that's 10S. And then R is just a letter of confirmation that all of this has happened, and that is for KRE to submit to their lender.
This park that we're talking about, where in that area is there going to be a park?
Yeah.
Because I walked through that, my parents live there, and I see no place where there's going to be a park there.
So we used to have Unico Tower, and then behind it there was a kind of a green area, and then there was the parking lot. That's all been torn up now. There's going to be a space between the new building, which will be on Marin, fronting the Newport parking garage, and then the Unico Tower. And there's about an acre of land in between that will be a park.
So you're saying that between Unico Tower and this building is going to be an acre of park?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Park in there? Yeah.
Fits on the survey.
Or a real thin park.
It's probably about 80 feet wide, which is pretty standard for...
To be proven wrong.
Okay, other questions for Jeff? None?
I mean, I know the theory is 10 years from now, nobody's gonna have cars, but it's getting to be ridiculous. You have all this development going on.
I don't know.
What?
I agree. I don't know who did that. You're gonna need some parking.
Yeah, so somebody just-
Jeff drew his word, he doesn't own a car.
I used to.
There you go.
Jeff, I think a councilman
Space
Rich
jam.
Pojana doesn't understand Jersey City has an innovative transportation system, bicycle.
Yeah. It's amazing, when it snowed, all the bike racks were.
38% of households in Jersey City don't own a car. Citywide, fact. I mean, we can disagree with that, but it is a fact.
Most innovative transportation in United States, we have that.
You start with V from Santilli? 10V? 10V. Robert Santilli?
10V. 10V, let's go.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Take it away.
Okay, 10B, it's a resolution authorizing an agreement with Robert Santilli Consulting for providing maintenance and software services for the police department. This is support maintenance for the police department software to do our record keeping, report tracking, overtime purchasing, so on.
Okay.
10V, V as a Victor.
For communications for support services for the Avaya phone system?
Correct, repair and maintenance of our hardwired phone system in the police and fire department.
AT&T Mobility for wireless devices?
Yes, this is a contract for our cell phones and tablets, public safety.
End of life computer, what we do? We dumping, donating, where we do this? All the computer. When we get the new computer.
With the old computers, we notify purchasing, and either they resell them or we scrap them, depending upon the age and the use.
Y, Dell for purchase of computer equipment and peripherals for the 911 dispatch center.
Yeah, these are
UASI grant.
This is grant money. It's being used to replace all our computers at the 911 communication system.
Z, language line services, that's for interpreters for the public safety.
The operators at the communication center.
Motorola.
Before we move on.
How often do we use this one?
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit?
Yeah.
And which language is the most we use it?
I couldn't tell you. I can get a rundown if you like, but sometimes we get some bizarre calls for languages we never heard of, and it comes in quite handy.
Yes.
Yes, it's interesting to know.
So
Especially-
I raised this issue with the BA's office. If we should consider, who was the other one? The courts also have a translation services contract.
And RRC.
RRC's looking at a translation services contract. If maybe citywide, there's like one company or
I
contract.
know the difference with the courts. I spoke to Wendy Rizzoli about that, and she said the judges require a face-to-face interpreter, whereas there's a phone interpreter. Now we have to discuss the RRC, what their needs are, but maybe we can incorporate them into maybe the phone interpreter.
24/7 mostly.
Right.
We can look into it.
And to be frank with you, we may need it in other agencies as well. I mean, people go to building departments, they can't, language issues, Health and Human Services, all these places. It's, yeah.
Z1, Motorola for the public safety radio system, the maintenance.
Maintenance repair of the radio system throughout the city, police, fire, public works, incinerator, so on.
Z2, turnout fire and safety for the purchase and delivery of protective gear.
BOEs, Board of Education?
Which one are you talking about?
No, the 10Z1.
10Z1.
Yeah, maintenance for the covers of all city department, but why we have to be maintain the Board of Education?
That's a good question. I'll look into that. That may be a typo, Councilman.
Because I see the older department, but when I see that the BOE,
Yeah, rather than give you misinformation, let me get to the bottom of it, and I'll give you a report on that.
but they have to pay us, right?
It's your money. And they have the much bigger budget.
That's what I'm saying, then they have to pay to us, okay?
I definitely
Well, I
will
guess-
check on that and get back to you.
They have 200 million more to budget.
Okay, and then Verizon Wireless for the communication system for police and, well, for public
What
safety.
is it, which one?
10Z3.
Z3. That's for the MDTs and radio cars and the automatic license plate readers.
Okay, from the top, Council President?
No, we have MUAs here.
So John.
Gentlemen, sorry.
John, what are you here for, John?
Q.
You're welcome. It's a resolution consenting to the undertaking of capital projects by the Municipal Utilities Authority.
We're undertaking about $51 million of water projects, and we need the consent of the council to move forward. We're not asking for any money. Excuse me. The projects are being financed by the New Jersey Infrastructure Trust, who had low interest rates. There's 5 projects. One's installing another transmission main to Newport. Currently, we have one, I believe it's 18th Street, going to Newport. This will bring one to Newport from the south. So we'll have 2 feeds in case there's a problem with one of the feeds. The other one is to finish up our job at Boonton, where we have a gravity pipe, an improvement at the water treatment plant. The third one is cleaning and lining some water mains. We call it Journal Square North. It's from Jefferson Avenue to Franklin going north, and from Central Avenue over to Ogden. We're going to be cleaning and lining the water mains from Jefferson Avenue in the south up to Franklin Avenue in the north, from Central Avenue in the west to Ogden and Palisade Avenue in the east. Okay, Congress. Well, okay, we about 2-3 years ago, we completed a project in the Lafayette area. Yes. Yeah, it was. I think it's. I believe it was on Ocean, and I'm not. I can't tell you the streets.
Could you provide that information for the council?
Sure. When
Margaret.
and where?
Sure.
Great. So questions for, are you done, sir? You are.
Street?
No.
A water pipe south to 18th Street, because it comes, when it's always breaking, comes from the north.
Gotcha.
Jefferson to South Street, right? Jefferson to South, and you say Franklin North. I'm getting confusing.
Yes. Yeah.
So I can expect to have an email telling you the year and the places that you did in the other part of the city?
Send it to Margaret, she'll get it out.
Thank you.
Really? Explain it one more time. So Jefferson to south,
Well, I said Jefferson's in the south, right? And
to north,
and Franklin's in the north,
yeah,
right?
on Central Avenue.
And then my map says Central Avenue.
I don't think we mean Jefferson to south. I think he's
Central.
saying
Right.
Jefferson
It's
is
in
in the
the
west.
north, right.
North, right, that's what you mean, I guess, right? South, no, but still, doesn't make any sense to me. You know what?
From
Do me a
north
favor,
to
John,
south.
can you give me some detailed information? You have a copy of that? Thank you very much, okay? Margaret, can you have a copy of that? Yeah, okay.
Questions? Rivera?
Is that those, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if that's what it is. Those like pipes that are connected to the fire hydrant and then they go all around?
Exactly.
So I just get a little worried about this because in the south side of the city, that was there for a long time and it seemed like if it wasn't like, not you per se, it seemed like it wasn't being maintained and it made the infrastructure look not too tidy. So is that what we expect now in the north side of the city?
Well, the answer is basically yes. That we have, we shut down the water mains. They run a drill through it, clean it out, and then they put in cement. They put in some cement. But yes, you will have, that's called bypass water. You'll have the hoses and everything. I mean, the mains need work. They need it for fire flow, and there isn't any. It's the most cost-effective way of doing it. We could dig up the whole street and put in a main, but here we're just digging a little.
And those lines are available, God forbid, in case of a fire, those hydrants are available?
Yes.
Okay.
Ramshell and Coleman. Come on.
Ladies first. Go
Okay,
ahead.
Coleman first.
Go ahead.
I just want to know, when you're putting these big things in, they're like bigger than the ones that are in there already to have a better flow. Is that, because I think I remember now and I asked some questions. You're putting in this round pipe that it widens the passage of the water in the main. In other words,
No, they would do that with the sewer, not with the water pipe.
Oh, there you go.
I saw those big things. I don't know what they
The
were.
water pipe is, let's say, 8 inches in diameter, and over 50 years or so, there's accumulation on the inside, and it goes down to 4 inches. So now then people have bad flow, there's poor fire flow, so then we disconnect the pipes, put in this bypass, this inconvenient bypass water, and they put a drill through there and clean it out, and then they put in a concrete treatment for the pipe, and then you have much better flow and much better water quality.
Let me ask this one. I see the map.
Go ahead.
Could you?
So is this is why people complain that they get like very slow water flow?
Exactly.
So can you send me a survey as well to see if anything was done in my ward, would be? Because I got a couple of complaints. So.
Okay, if you could just provide an entire list to Margaret, she'll get it out to everyone in the council.
And see that you guys responsible for catch basins, right?
Yes.
All right, there's a few catch basins in our...
Let's hold on, let's finish this item. Yun and Bogiana.
Okay. So I have two questions. So one, when I see the map, actually this is only Ward C. They have no Ward D at all. Any reason?
Well, we did, we're doing it in phases. Okay, this is the next phase up. Well, we had the council lady we did first, it's based.
Should have been done?
So now, what I ask you,
Good.
we talk of $51 million.
Yes.
You need a 2/3 vote, right? How many votes you need? 2/3?
That's a resolution.
Resolution, so it doesn't need it. But it's okay. So I like to see some kind of, plans, what is gonna be.
They have a 5-year plan.
It's a 5-year plan. When are you gonna get it? Some kind of information we like to have, so I can tell the people that we're gonna have it next year or not. That's number one. Number two, we talking about the water main, but how about the sewer line? We have a major problem, sewer line issue in Heights. It's supposed to be a Heights section, so we doesn't have to expect, flood problem, but yes, we have. The South Street probably you well know, it's almost a natural place, even South Street, that line has a sewer line, it's like a cray lines in the steagages. So what is your plan for sewer line issues? I mean,
This year, I'll probably be coming back a little later this year, that we're going to be spending about 40 million in making sewer repairs. So, I mean,
for treat the sea first, but sewer line issue we should be addressed our area will deep first then.
All the sewers in my city.
You say I have to complain, huh?
And certainly as Councilman Lim said,
So that's my sentiment too. I think Ward F.
Yeah, that's the problem now.
I'll say Ward C first. No, listen, I just want to ask you something.
Aren't we glad we have a large council? To keep it cool.
When I was in the second precinct years ago, and in the East District, we used to have a guy come around every morning and take a bottle of water and test it. Do they still do that?
yes, we do.
Where do they go now? Because when I left the precinct, when I retired, I didn't.
Test it?
Yeah.
United Water makes a variety of pickups of water at public buildings, basically, and, it's done daily. Yes.
Councilperson Coleman?
To know who do you call when the sewers are stinking so bad that they're going in the windows of someone's home? Who do you call?
Call me anyway. Well, you could call me, but.
Okay.
No, I'm only kidding, I'll call you.
What's the increase on rates?
This year, there is no increase in the water and sewer rate. Correct. This is included in the existing rate.
This is part of the grant you indicated, right?
It's low-interest financing, loans.
Relation or anything to do with Suez, right? SUEZ, where are they located?
They were United Water. They were Hackensack Water, became United Water. Now they just changed their name to Suez. Well, yes.
Unbelievable, unbelievable.
But excuse me. It's a French company, excuse me. They're not owned by France. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask, about that Suez, there's no, I believe no change in water supply, is that accurate?
100% accurate. All our water comes from Boonton.
Other questions related to this resolution?
So our franchise agreement with the JCMUA extend, that they're gonna be finished at December 31st, 2027?
That's correct.
So 2016, how many, 11 years to go?
Michael.
Thank you. If I live to see that.
So my question is, when the next project comes as well, what is A, B, C, D, E, F? What is your prioritization criteria?
Well, we have engineering master plans, and they come up and do an analysis of where the flow's the worst, and then we kind of do the worst first.
I ask you to stay with that approach.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
We have a franchise agreement with the JCMUA that franchise will be finished at December 30th, 2027. Meantime, can we, if this city council, if this mayors want to, they can merge to like a JCIA and Jersey Parking Authority?
We could dissolve the MUA if we go through a set process, but MUA is actually a lot more complicated than the other entities to merge because there's a lot of different contracts involved. For instance, with United Water, that's very different than our arrangements with other entities.
The process smart person like you say complicated. If to me maybe complicated, but to you I don't think so.
I would tell you, like, so, yes, you could dissolve it if we went through the right process, but then we would have to deal with a whole bunch of issues.
Including water bonds that we would have to
Water
assume.
bonds that we have to assume, there's an infrastructure upgrade consent order that they have to comply with. So if you look at the asset, if you look at it just as an asset, it's better to leave it as an independent entity. Plus, as far as the other agencies, when we did our initial review of them during the transition, MUA was running relatively well. They're well managed, and they also are able to avail themselves of the state regulatory state statutory and regulatory framework for water provision. That's very effective for our residents. We wouldn't want to have to take that over, administer ourselves, do the billing ourselves, and do the billing the way we would have to do it. And we certainly wouldn't want to have to redo the United Water contract at this time.
City council have a right to recommend our representative as board members?
No, so the way it works is no, you guys don't. The mayor appoints, Scott, so the mayor appoints to.
With advice and consent, you give advice and consent.
Yeah. You could advise.
That being said, if you had someone you were interested in getting on the MUA board, you should feel free to let the mayor know. He's always happy to work with the council.
All right.
MUA does a great job. They really do.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you. Before we start from the top.
Yes, sir.
Can I get those? Before we go through the rest of the agenda, I just want to hand this out. So, budget hearing schedule. So we've laid out a series of dates through April and May that are in the daytime and the evening. Alternative dates and times. Not saying we're having two hearings. We're trying to get people's opinions or their availability on daytimes and evenings. And then also indicating which what's that? Indicating which departments are your priority. So, in the past, speaking frankly, in the past, the budget hearings were not attended by all the council members, and we went to great pains to try to schedule it to make it available to everyone. If it's not your priority to be there, you'd be doing the scheduler a favor, the clerk a favor, the recorder, right? The recorder's there as well? Or no? No recorder. Is it televised? No. Okay. So you'd be doing the clerk and the secretary a favor by indicating which are your top priorities, and that way we can schedule to make sure that those meetings that meet the priorities of those council people who consider that department a priority, that the times are convenient for them. Certainly if the time does not look, if it's a daytime time and it says 11 a.m. and you say, I'd rather it be at 10 a.m., just make a note of that, and then we'll see if we can make that work for everybody. Same thing with the evening times. If you get all of this back to Margaret, she will tally it all up, and then we'll see what we can do to rework it if necessary.
Sunshine, so Margaret and I'll work together. Okay, from the top then, Council President?
From the top.
All right, A is an ordinance renewing the lease for Health and Human Services at 199-201 Summit Avenue.
A, B, and C are all related, they're all together.
They're all for parking and for the office space for Health and Human Services.
Yeah.
D is 20 parking spaces at 808 Pavonia Avenue from the Harwood Corporation. We did E earlier with Anne Marie Bucci Carter. F, authorizing the conveyance of 152 Martin Luther King to the Redevelopment Agency and rescinding Ordinance 16017.
This is to correct the block and lot that was on the original ordinance the council approved last month.
G is amending Chapter 242 to establish regulations for the use of publicly owned bicycle parking racks.
So, let me ask you this one.
Explain this one.
I understand, but my concern is that fine is $100 up to $1,000. Don't you feel like it's too much? Who sponsored this bill?
Explain this.
Yeah, who sponsored this bill?
The mayor's office.
Fine $50, they're not gonna park.
Well, first of all, I think
Wait.
it's important to understand
It's
that.
$1,000.
In any of these ordinances, when they're done this way, the fine in the ordinance is just a recommendation. The judge in the municipal court will hear the matter and still designate what they feel is the appropriate fine.
So this is not talking about the individual bike rider. This is talking about.
I understand business, commercial, yes.
Like, to get to like the root of what we're trying, I mean, can we just talk about what we're trying to take care of? It's not talking, nobody's interested in small kind of bike, local, like Grove Street bikes or somebody, where people are just happening to park them. What we have, and I can show you pictures on my phone, is we have the Hoboken Bike Share. They dump their bikes off in our public racks at the path stations and take up all the public space. And we tell them not to do it, and they say, oh, it's legal.
That's neighborly. Come on.
No.
We do it to them?
No, we do not. And we tried to have an agreement. We said, listen, we have city bike arrangement in our city. We didn't go with this other agreement. But if you guys would like, we can create some special spaces where you can dump those bikes, but we don't want that to go into the spot where residents are parking their bikes every morning at the path stations. And so we said, hey, give us a couple of locations for City Bike in Hoboken, and we'll gladly give you a couple of locations separate from our regular public racks in Jersey City. They weren't interested in it, so.
See, but now concern is that it's not that's the way they said. No commercial bicycle shop, and the first thing is no commercial bike, and the definition of no commercial bike, like a commercial bike means that the business is delivery of food and goods. So actually
That's not the intent.
I understand, it's not, intention is not there, but the way you write the ordinance.
No, because you have to understand the prohibition is for parking more than 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. So it's not, so you can park your bike. So if you're a delivery person and you park your bike at a bike rack, you can be there for up to 2 hours.
Yeah, but usually the food delivery, like lunchtime. But if the lunchtime is over till dinner time, probably can be 3 hours, can be 4 hours. But I understand your good intention, but I mean.
They always keep it by the business.
No, actually, I wish they can, but most small food, service stores, they have not much room space, you know what I'm saying? So they usually today, they tie up their, bicycle outside because we have to protect the most innovative transportation system. We should not jeopardize them, So bicycle. So what we should be do, $100 is too much, you know what I'm saying? And up to $1,000 actually, it's going to be.
Wait a minute, is this finding the individual bike rider?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
The company, not the bike, not the person riding the bike.
yeah, but it's a poor Chinese guy, bicycle outside, he's, use the, legs or whatever. If we get the $100.
Yeah, we're talking about branded bikes.
Okay.
Branded bikes.
All right, okay.
Opponent to City
Oh, I
Bike.
see. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unless it's like,
It's not
unless
getting.
it
Unless
suddenly
you are
becomes like the Cheesecake Factory bike or something like that.
Right,
Like,
you would never know.
yeah.
We try to bring up
Okay.
the Hoboken and Jersey City.
We don't want to. We actually don't want to.
And we're gonna work on an agreement with them.
We want them to put, we want to have bikes, we want to have specific spots. We just don't want, like I could show you, just so you see.
I know. You know what? That's why our system integrate with the city bike with the New York City is very important part of that. But also we belong to local Hudson County. Our bike system should be integrated with that
So
rest of the city.
We wanted to do that, they didn't.
They didn't want to.
And so.
We'll talk to Hoboken.
So now we are going to work with Hoboken on creating spots where they can park their bikes, and in return, we're going to get spots where we can park our bikes in Hoboken.
But just waterfront area or rest of the city, we're gonna provide that bike rack for the Hudson County bike line systems. You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds like all this ordinance. Okay, I understand.
Okay,
That's what they do in exchange, like I
okay.
This ordinance is not only talk about exchange places citywide, then we're willing to provide those kind of system to other areas, so they
This
can.
ordinance doesn't speak about providing them anything, right?
No, it just talks about the.
So-
Leverage to have a conversation.
All right, we're going to move on to H. That's creating the new classified position of Labor Relations Assistant.
Okay, next item.
I, amending the administrative code, Department of Public Works, and Article 6, Business Administrator of the Jersey City Code.
Okay, let me ask you
This is the reorganization due to
The dissolution of the incinerator authority, we are creating, you know, two divisions into the existing structure to absorb the JCIA's function. So we're creating a division of sanitation and division of neighborhood improvement, in addition to our automotive, parks, forestry, and building streets division. So it's adding two divisions. That's going to be made up primarily of the JCIA staff.
Also go DPW?
So, they're physically located at the municipal services complex, so they're in my budget, but they're really being supervised by DPW right now, so we're just officially putting it under them. Yes, sir.
And the other one is that when you see that they're gonna create NID, seems like NID was gone a long time ago.
Yeah. Correct.
But now we talk about creative NID, I guess, right?
Yeah, this is Director Redfield's vision.
We understand, but what I understand, when previous administration, when they dissolved the NID, that division, the people who has civil service, whatever.
Service they have.
So now we're gonna bring back them?
So if we hire anyone in that title, we will have to impose or request a special reemployment list, have those employees notified that there'd be a job available. Right now, the division's being made up of the graffiti and the second chance program. You know, Director Redfield in the coming months wants to expand it to incorporate those former enforcement officers. Right now, it's just taking on the JCA portion. As Director Redfield and the staff gets comfortable with the new organization, he does want to expand it to incorporate some of the old NID programs. So yes, we will have to, at some point, request those special reemployment lists.
That's what I'm saying, okay?
Yes, sir.
Talked about it.
All right, second reading ordinances, council members C, we should not be there. It's going to be advertised for the next meeting.
Which one?
C, the vacation of a portion of Marcy Avenue will not be up for a second reading. It's being advertised for the next meeting. It required advertisement 10 days before, and the county had to send out notices to the two people within 200 feet. It was always scheduled to go on the next meeting. All right, resolutions that we didn't do.
Before we move forward, just
Yes, sir.
on 4D, Councilman, just confirming, is your address added?
Yes, they did.
Great.
According to the map that was enclosed, it's included. Yes, very good.
All right. A, we have an emergency temporary appropriation. B, calendar year 2015 appropriation reserve transfers. C, authorizing the use of reserve funds in the calendar year 2016 municipal budget for various youth job programs. D, authorizing the use of reserve funds in the calendar year 2016 municipal budget for the operating expenses at the Bethune Center. E, you have a new assessment role for the Jackson Hill Main Street Special Improvement District.
Candace?
Yeah, just for C and D, using reserve funds, is that, I'm sorry?
C is the buyout money?
C is the buyout money from 2013. D is from the proceeds of renting out the facility, offset the costs of running it now.
In a long time, it's added to its own debt service. Bethune Center.
Yeah, so I
Which one
thought
is
we
it?
were gonna have conversations about how we spent the buyout money specifically. and this kind of feels like putting it on without having those discussions. I mean, that was one thing that I kind of harped on.
Which one is 10D?
C.
C.
Just hold on a minute, because I have a few concern, right, too, yes.
And my concern there is that we're using a one-time payment, and I said this when we accepted the buy-ups, when we get a one-time injection of money to go and then use that one-time injection of money to try and fund programs that won't exist anymore doesn't seem smart to me. To me, it seems smart, and I'm all for supporting. You know I support the youth programs, and we need to fund it out of our budget. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but I also think that we shouldn't be creating an illusion here, I guess.
See, now added to her concern is that, number one complaint, I know there's some area is a public safety issue, number one issue, but some area is a number one issue is litters, garbages, that's a major issue in the street. So now, I bring up them many times already, we have a summer seasonal workforce management to this program. This is a seasonal program, but we have to keep the clean the street and neighbor all year round. In the meantime, all year program cannot able to provide because short of fund. Let's put it this way, I got major complaint from the people that Union City is clean and nice, but when you close the Patterson Plank Road, then streets are filthy and dirty. So I say, listen, maybe people of Union City more behaving, or they're more clean streets better than they like them Heights people. It was not. So I looked at looked into their what they call the Union City budget. You know how much they spend for the sanitation, Union City? Union City, actually, you believe one, population-wise, almost the same population Jersey City height. Land size, Jersey City almost 9 times larger than Union City. But meantime, Union City spent almost $2.6 million for sanitation, and Jersey City not even close that.
That's what it's.
So think about it. That's what they spend. The same account number can be different, but that's why they spent $2.6 million. They put the people on the street 7 a.m. till I think at 9 p.m. They continue main up and down street. Meantime, Jersey City, we have a great community leaders. They stand up, try to clean, but they provide the volunteer work to street clean once a week, not able to control garbage whatsoever. So we, as a council, I can see that, we printed the youth summer program. It's a seasonal. We printed 10 kitchen with a couple of rooms, only provide a couple of months, and we utilize that fund to able to use it all year round. But now, how much we spend? $1.3 million.
On having a year-round, crew.
Yes, but that's not true. Yes, now you know what? Okay. They have a couple of guys that signed the central letter. They're going to finish the end of this month because their funding period. They have to wait till I think July 1st or June 1st. So what I'm saying is that
on expanding the program to be brought back as of April 1st when this dissolution occurs. So there's funding available in his seasonal budget. He may come to the council during his budget hearing, ask for a few more dollars. The other thing is, there are some people that we understand are not accepting the offer of employment. That's going to free up more dollars to hire what they refer to as the shape-ups down there that can continue doing the street cleanups citywide year-round, not limited just the summertime with the youth.
Thank you very much. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
Really,
So.
He's going to come up some plans. We can ask that budget hearing, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, good.
So, now, before we move on, so they were both talking about the same resolution, having some concerns about it, but I think it was a different rationale on Candace's part with regard to how we were prioritizing and deciding how we were spending these. Yeah.
Operating budget. I mean, it was said so many times.
Yes, that's what I heard that too. I remember that.
So this does not have to be on this meeting. If you want to, we'll withdraw it for further discussion.
We could do that and go back to the drawing board on that. What's that?
Yeah, D's coming out of its own,
Because they're
building their own money in. Yeah, of course.
See.
Are you withdrawing C?
I will withdraw C.
Okay, on to G, enter into polling place agreements with the Hudson County Board of Elections. H through M, all authorize the business administrator to execute discharges of mortgages at various properties, 459 Bergen, 95 Bidwell.
Can I jump in?
Sure.
G. So, this is fine. Raised in the past, can we have someone look into Ward A, the polling stations there? Moose Hall has like, how many districts in there? It's gotta be like 9.
It's too many.
Yeah, there's way too many polling districts, and you gotta find something else.
Can we go back to Lady Mercy?
If they can, if they'll open the doors. What's that?
We go back to St. Joseph's. You have too many in the county courthouse. The older people don't want to walk.
And who can walk down those stairs into the basement?
Elevator there, Bob, now.
But they have to walk upstairs to an elevator.
No, they don't. The elevator's right on the main level.
If we can find more, I mean.
That's the problem.
Is Margaret here?
It's accessibility for the disabled.
If you give us the list of the precincts where you think there are too many, then I'll get that list to the law department, and we'll see if we can work with the county to.
Yeah, we can work with the Board of Elections, but they think of places
Right.
that are accessible to the disabled.
And that's true, because I don't work with them on Ward A.
Excuse me?
G has to go.
Didn't you work with them too on A, Frank, when they was trying to find a
Okay.
place?
Yeah.
Right.
H through M
There's no
are all
place around,
discharges
huh?
of mortgages. N, urging the legislature to enact A 302, supporting restoration of the energy tax receipts to municipal governments, and urging the legislature to eliminate the restriction on the use of the revenue derived from energy tax receipts. We did O with Ben Delisle earlier. P, closing Exchange Place on Sunday, April 10th for the Catine Forest Massacre. Q through X were done earlier. Y through Z8 were done earlier. Z9 and 10 earlier. 11 is the contract to Shulman, Wegman and Associates to provide court reporting services during council meetings for the office of the clerk. Yes.
Do we have a new clerk? I mean, a new
No.
court reporter?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but we have to take the chance of losing her every year because it's
Gotcha.
it's competitive. It's a professional service that we go out and
Gotcha.
get quotes for every year. Z12, professional services agreement with John Curley to represent Donna Mauer in the matter of 247 Middle Avenue. That's the 6th Street Embankment, also known as the 6th Street Embankment. Z13, an agreement with Hardin, Kundla, McKean, and Paletto to represent the city in the matter entitled Liberty Storage versus the City of Jersey City.
That's a condemnation case related to when they acquired the property for the new municipal complex. And then there are legacy issues about remediation there.
14, Z15 is urging the state government to enact legislation waiving certain fees for homeless individuals. Z16, council members, there is a date. Z16, appointing Kalima Ahmad as a part-time judge. Her term will expire December 17, 2016. She's replacing Judge Babcock, who resigned. So she gets that term.
So you don't have anybody for the last 2 weeks of
Okay.
the year?
BA.
No, so she'll have to get rid of, or
Oh,
a new judge will be appointed.
Newspaper, what are they called? A couple of weeks ago, IT new director was say hello to everybody. And what happened?
That's a person council.
Sessions with
Oh,
yeah.
See that, Rich? You're getting very good at this.
Second.
We have a motion by Chico, seconded by Councilperson Waterman, to adjourn at 7:24. Say goodnight, everyone.
Stand.